Hi, I'm Shanna Vanderwerker, and I'm the choreographer of Mamma Mia.
I'm Justin Brill, the director of Mamma Mia and Shanna Vanderwerker's husband. So our connection to the show, I did the show for about 9 months in Las Vegas in the early 2000s. I played Pepper, and we played at the Mandalay Bay Hotel.
I love this show because the music, I feel like that's pretty much what draws us all in at first is ABBA's music. The Dancing Queen, it takes me back to being in college and getting that groove. And then when you get to the meat of it, the story is really sweet and it's universal. It's a family love story, and I think that is really special, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Actually, I was fortunate enough to have Music Theater Works reach out to me to work on this show. And when they asked us to do it together, I think that was a double bonus. How could I say no? Getting to collaborate with my husband and getting to work on such a fun show. I love Kyle's energy. I love his vision for the company moving forward. And the opportunity to work with as big of a musical hit as possible is really exciting, and also having the option to have a pretty decent sized cast for a show like this. All of those things combined really made it exciting.
Yes, yes, and all of those things. I think Kyle's energy, both towards the company, towards the season, towards everything that Music Theater Works is about and what it can be potentially moving forward is just very contagious. The people that he's invited to work with, Music Theater Works, and the way in which he engaged us into his vision of the plan moving forward was really inspiring and really exciting. And the opportunity to work with Shanna on a show that is such a goofy jukebox musical that has such a heartfelt story attached to it of family identity and what it means to be in a partnership, and how that partnership is reflected cross-generationally, right? Like how we choose to engage with our partners versus how our parents engage with their partners, and finding your way into your own unique voice within that relationship, and what love means and what partnership means to you, I think is at the heart of this story on many different levels. And it takes place on a Greek island, and it just has a fun vibe to it that I think really engages the audience in a musical journey. The energy of the music is the first draw. From the very first time that you hear those familiar songs to a certain generation, and for a new generation, perhaps this is a discovery of the music of ABBA, right? But there's something to the playfulness of it, there's something to the joy of it, there's something to the poetry, the romantic poetry of the lyrics that they created together. That sort of, to me, is the first draw, that it invites people into this fun concert vibe, this vacation concert vibe of musical theater. And then along the way, you get to meet these lovable, playful characters that are seeking to find out more about their identity and their relationship to love and their family.
And I think that all of those things, yes, and I think that coming out of COVID and coming out of when we finally get out of COVID, I think everything that Justin just said is magnified 10,000%, and to be able to come and see a show that's just gonna make your heart smile and really celebrate being together again, and whether you're in the Greek Isles or you're up here in Skokie, to just be with people and that human connection, which is at another core of this show, I think is gonna be really spectacular. Yes. We worked on Lysistrata Jones for Refuge Theater Project about 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And it was really cool because we know each other so well, and we know each other's languages, and he knows what I need to help spark those steps, to help spark the vocabulary, and I know what he needs to help him shape the overall project. So I think that there's a lot of there's a lot of more collaboration when we know each other so well. So it's a lot like watching, I would say tennis, but I stink at tennis. Ping pong maybe, I kind of stink at ping pong too, but I think it's really a partnership in that way. And as a married couple, it is really fun because we can have production meetings over coffee. And I think that we do a pretty good job as well of separating work from personal. Sometimes it's a little tricky, I'm not gonna lie, but we do it, I think it's fun.
Yeah. I guess, and all those things. I think that our strengths really complement one another. We have a good balance as far as what the demands are of a rehearsal process and a production process. She keeps me on task. She's taught me so much about organization and how to formulate my ideas in terms of stage pictures and putting things together in a rehearsal process. She's much more experienced than I am, and as far as being on this side of the table, so I lean on her advice as far as how to approach conversations, how to approach putting my ideas into more tangible steps with the creative team and with the cast. And also having that personal familiarity is really helpful. I think she's been great for me as far as knowing when I'm in over my head or when my frustration might be taking over the process, and she's able to help me step back and sort of unwind that process and really be much more productive in the room and in preparation.
Hi, I'm Shanna Vanderwerker, choreographer of Mamma Mia.
I'm Justin Brill, director of Mamma Mia. Come see Mamma Mia at Music Theater Works.
Yay!